Here's a 1% tip for you that often gets ignored in the game of pétanque. That is what we see all the time here in France. It's a 2 to 3 hour lunch break. Now, it's obviously not always possible depending on where you are, but the French really love their lunch breaks. They love to luxuriate, they love to relax, they love to have conversations, a little bit of wine, a little bit of pastis, whatever it might be. It is very much the conviviality of the game. And it's really, really important. But the other thing is that they're resting. So they've played the morning, having a nice relaxing lunchtime, and then they're going into the afternoon and then sometimes into the evening. Now, what I see an awful lot with players is they bolt their lunch down as quickly as possible, not even any thought to what they're putting into their mouth. And then they're straight back onto the terrain to practice. Now, you're not going to gain anything by practicing like that. In theory, you should be able to throw 10 or 12 ball and you're in the zone. There's no benefit to throwing 2 or 3 games worth and practicing and trying to hone your technique, because any practice should be done well before the competition. The competition is the celebration. Maybe it's a Saturday, maybe it's a Sunday. That is the time when you do not practice. You just play your game. You throw a few balls to warm up. You do a little bit of stretching, a little bit of arm movement. You do a little bit of bat work just to make sure that your body is supple and it's ready for the tournament that's ahead. But in terms of trying to work on your shot, that's only going to cause you an immense amount of problems. If you think, oh my God, I've got to have to lob on this pitch. I should have practiced. I haven't done any. I better get some in afterwards, after my lunch. That's not going to do you any good. You might think it will, but it doesn't, because practice is for the time of practice. Competition is for competition. You don't mix the two. So make sure when you're having your lunch, you're actually having your lunch, you're actually relaxing, you're having a little chat, you're talking about games, you're talking about how good it was back in the day when we were all together and there were so many players, and not necessarily like that anymore, and all these other sort of things. Have you watched Stranger Things? Have you done all of these things? How was your golf last week? Anything, just something to take you away from the game, to get your head relaxed and ready for the afternoon. Now, there is an afternoon slump for a lot of people. They eat too many carbs, they come into the game, they're like, I'm so tired, what's going on? You've got to try and get that out of your system. A little bit of water will help, trying to reduce carbs if you're having any. So maybe salads instead of sandwiches, and baguettes with merguez and all these lovely things that we have. That just puts a little bit of a dampener on your afternoon as well. So try to stay as hydrated as possible. Try not to have alcohol. Try and be alert. Try and be ready for the afternoon. Don't practice on game day.